All right, guys, welcome to Medley with Mary. I'm Mary Dawson. So it's Wednesday, and we're going to look at a movie today. And it happens to be episode number 24 of Decrypting Movies, and it's the 24th movie. So I watched it, I think, 1 week back. The Fugitive. The protagonist is Harrison Ford, and the supporting role is Tommy Lee Jones. Both are popular faces, and it's kind of crime thriller released in 1993, and I really liked this film. Okay, I was really bored out and checking what to watch, and in Netflix this film popped up, and I decided to watch this, and it turned out to be a pretty good film. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about this movie, and as usual, we'll see the trailer, and then we'll talk about it. All right. So it's available in Netflix, and it's around 2 hours 10 minutes. So it's a long movie, pretty long movie. Usually, Hollywood movies tend to be 1 hour 30 minutes, 45 minutes, but it's 2 hour 10 minutes. It's basically it has a good story, and it has taken time. It takes this time to get in depth between the characters, and the IMDb rating is 7.8. I do not know much about the director Andrew Davis, but we all know Harrison Ford, Indiana Jones and Star Wars, and Tommy Lee Jones from Men in Black. So these are all popular faces, and I think that's the reason I went for this movie, seeing these popular faces. So let's check out the trailer, and then we'll talk about the movie.
I came home, there was a man in my house. He had an artificial arm.
Are you saying that I killed my wife? Are you saying that I crushed her skull and that I shot her?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, listen up. We have a fugitive that's been on the run for 90 minutes. Average foot speed over uneven ground, barring injury, is 4 miles an hour. That will give you a radius of 6 miles. What I want out of each and every one of you is a hard target search of every gas station, residence, warehouse, farmhouse, hen house, outhouse, or dog house in this area. Checkpoints will go up at 15 miles. Your fugitive's name is Dr. Richard Kimble. Go get him.
Okay. So it's a pretty good trailer. They didn't reveal much of the story, but they have told you the context. I think Harrison Ford gets most of the roles which involves running away from something. Indiana Jones, he always keeps running away from the bad guys, and Star Wars also. I've seen, I think, a couple of movies I've watched about Star Wars, and he's kind of running away. So yes, he's famous for those kind of roles, and in this, as you can see, the name of the title is Fugitive. So Fugitive is someone who's running away from the law. And talking about the story of the movie, so it's a very straightforward movie. The first 10 or 15 minutes establishes what's it gonna be. So there is this protagonist and his wife, and they attend a party, and they come back to home, but Harrison Ford, the protagonist, goes has to go somewhere. So he's a doctor, right? So he has this medical emergency, so he has to go somewhere, and when he comes back home, he finds his wife dead, and there is a stranger who had killed his wife, but he gets away. He tries to get a hold of him, but he gets away, and then he realizes that the wife is dead. So he calls up the police, and then the police comes in. Say they don't believe his story, right? So he's in emotional shock that his wife, his beautiful wife, his lovely wife, and what do you say, his lovable wife is dead, and kind of overwhelming for him. And he says that there was a stranger, and he didn't had a hand, he had a artificial arm. And the police do not believe this, and they are not finding it convincing, so they are suspecting him. And finally he gets prosecuted, and he gets go to the jail. And when they are transporting him to the actual prison, so there is an accident, and he kinds of escapes. So from then on, it's running away. So he wants to prove that he is not the murderer, and also wants to find out who was behind this, right? Who wanted to kill his wife, and who was the one who killed his wife. So he basically wants to find out all the information and take revenge. And it's kind of a big what do you say, subplot, the murder of the wife, how it happened, was it planned or accident. So that has another subplot, and there of twist in the end. So it all makes up a very good story. And especially this is kind of whole movies like chasing a cop and a thief kind of stuff, right? You So Harrison Ford is the outlaw, and he's trying to get away from the FBI. So here in this case, it's since the prison, he was being transported to prison, and he's a prisoner. So the FBI gets involved, and they're trying to pin him down, and basically he escapes in every possible way. And it's kind of amusing to watch those scenes where he gets away from the FBI. It may not be believable, but to watch it in a cinema or a movie is kind of amusing and entertaining. And this is the whole story. So basically the narrative style is kind of suspense thriller, and you can see the BGM is well versed with that. It gives you that mysterious feeling that what's going to happen. He's running away, how he's going to figure out his wife's murderer, and who actually planned this murder. Is it a planned murder, or is just is it some thief that broke into the home, and by accident he killed the wife. So he's trying to learn who all has artificial arms, and where it is being manufactured. So he kind of does some investigative work as well as run away from the FBI, and it's amazing to watch. The narrative style is kind of, they made it very very suspenseful and mysterious. And the BGM and the scene transitions are all matching to the narrative style. So you can, it's like I felt it like a 90s movie basically. You can call this, it's released in 1993 obviously. So, and you can actually pinpoint and figure out that it's a 90s movie. And you can see the 80s and 70s getting developed, enhanced, and you can see the improvement in these from those decades. And also it gives you that it's kind of with the cars that they use in 90s, and the towns wherever he's running away, the environment and place, everything will resonate, and you feel good like watching a 1990s movie. And yeah, that's it about the narrative style and performance. Obviously, Tommy Lee Jones and Harrison Ford. So Harrison Ford has that what do you call charisma, what do you call charisma, and he's charming, and especially it's a serious role, right? So he doesn't have any punchlines or any comical scenes. So he's serious throughout the movie. He's basically desperate to find out who killed his wife. And when he finds out the truth, it is something that he can't digest, but he has to face it. And how he faces it, and does he get out, or he gets released, or what kind of questions that gets answered in the climax. But overall, it's a very good movie, and the performance from both Tommy Lee Jones and Harrison Ford was apt and amazing. And yeah, I loved basically the music. So I think it gave the feel, you know that it's a suspenseful. You can actually feel the genre in the music. When you hear the music, Even by closing your ears, you can feel the movie's mood, how it is progressing. So it was amazing to watch. I love the BGM. So yes, and yeah, it's a good story. I don't think you can find many similar plots because it is kind of unique, right? So somebody kills your wife, and it could have been a revenge story, an action revenge story, like John Wick or something. But they kind of added a investigative aspect to it and made the protagonist to involve in some investigation, and it's him being a doctor, and the actual stranger that broke into his home and killed his wife had this artificial arm, and he's trying to find out how where it is manufactured and who are all using artificial arms. So those were all kind of interesting. As I said, investigative aspect is a worked out and successful formula in any movie. So if you keep some investigative aspects in your movie, it's going to work out, because that's interesting, because people were really intrigued to watch such kind of stuff, right? Which connecting the dots, a lot of stuff like that. So definitely I think because they took this kind of style, I think this movie is good and unique, and does not resemble any other movies. You feel like you watched a fresh unique movie altogether. And you can see, if you watch any action movie, you would feel like we saw this story already in many movies, and the plot may seem hackneyed or resembling some other films, but you don't get that feeling in this movie. So it's like a fresh movie if you want to watch something completely different, and that does not bore you. And this is one of those films that you can watch, and especially if you're a Harrison Ford fan, you can definitely enjoy his performance in this movie. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this episode. So yes, it was good. So the next movie, obviously I'll pick up something special. It's gonna be 25 episodes of Decrypting movies. Probably I'll go for Django Unchained. I'll watch it again and I'll try to review it. But I thought of not reviewing famous movies, but it's going to be episode number 25, right? So we have to do something special, so I'll try to come up with a special movie. Stay tuned for it, and you can also ask me or suggest me any movie or series to watch, and give my opinion, or basically try to talk about it. So I'm open to it. So do suggest some movies, or if you want me to talk about it, please comment it, and I would really love to do that. And I hope you have a great day. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. So let's catch up in another episode. Until then, it's Maddie Dawson. You're watching Medley with Maddie. Bye bye.